Welcome to Animal Stories for Kids. If you like our stories, please give us a 5-star rating, subscribe to our podcast, and share it with your friends and family. And now, it's time for our story. Once upon a time, there was an Arabian wolf named Ashraf. Ashraf the Arabian wolf loved to climb mountains. He would spend his days exploring the desert and the mountains. He enjoyed the crisp mountain air and looking down at the desert below, and sometimes chasing animals up and down the cliffs for a meal. One day, as Ashraf the Arabian wolf was exploring in the desert for the next mountain to climb, he decided to climb the highest mountain in all of the desert. He's always seen it off at a distance, but was never in the mood to climb it until now. Ashraf said to himself, "I think I want to climb that mountain now. It's the highest mountain in all of the desert. I wonder if it's an easy or difficult climb." Ashraf made sure to sleep well during the night so that he could go early in the morning to start climbing the high mountain. So after Ashraf the Arabian wolf slept through the night, he got up and he set off early in the morning. "All right, time to climb that mountain," said Ashraf the Arabian wolf. And the sun was just starting to rise as he reached the base of the mountain. He looked up, and this mountain was no joke. It wasn't the normal, regular, average mountains Ashraf was used to climbing. This mountain was obviously bigger and more challenging right from the start. So Ashraf the Arabian wolf began walking up and climbing the mountain. The climb was steep and challenging, but Ashraf was determined. He climbed higher and higher, and he was able to tell that he was halfway up the mountain already. He can start to see birds flying under him as he looked over the mountain's edge. As he climbed up and up and up until he reached a plateau, and it flattened out at a cliff looking over the desert. On the plateau, Ashraf the Arabian wolf met a gazelle just wandering up the mountain. The gazelle saw Ashraf and said, "Oh, hi, Mr. Arabian Wolf. I'm just trying to get down the mountain. Please don't eat me. I've been climbing this mountain for hours, but I'm totally lost. Do you by any chance remember where you came from? Maybe I can retrace your steps and get off this mountain. That's if you let me off this mountain alive." Ashraf the Arabian wolf said, "Oh, hey, gazelle, don't worry. I'm not hungry right now. Right now, I'm just too focused. I want to get up to the top of this mountain. I could tell you where I came from. I came from back there. But why do you want to go down? You're like halfway up the mountain." The gazelle said, "Really? I made it halfway up? Wow. I'm seriously just wandering on this mountain, and clearly I was lost. I'm kind of getting tired too, so I just want to go back down. And by the way, thanks for not eating me. I feel much better." Ashraf said to the gazelle, "Are you sure? Just a little bit more, then we'll make it to the top. I'll climb with you and we can both make it up there." The gazelle said, "I don't know. Well, I guess I'll go up with you for a little while longer. I'm actually just glad that I have some company. It was kind of getting lonely up here." So the gazelle started going up the mountain with Ashraf the Arabian wolf. And they kept climbing up the mountain, jumping from rock to rock, and resting on cliffs and when there was a hard-to-get spot. Ashraf and the gazelle helped each other climb up. And as they were getting closer to the top, it started getting a little colder. Then from around the corner of the mountain, Ashraf and the gazelle saw an ibex peeking around. The ibex said to them, "Hey, you two, what are you doing? I've never seen a gazelle and an Arabian wolf up here before." "Wait, an Arabian wolf? Oh no, please don't eat me." Then Ashraf the Arabian wolf said, No, don't worry. I won't eat you, just like I'm not eating the gazelle. I'm too focused to get to the top of this mountain. Maybe you want to come along with us?" Then the ibex asked them, "Are you two lost?" Ashraf the Arabian wolf said, "Not really. My friend the gazelle here was lost for a little bit, but we started climbing this mountain together. I think we know where we're going." The ibex said, "Oh really? where are you two going? Ashraf said, we're going to the top of this mountain. The ibex said, cool, I would love to tag along. Thanks for letting me come along with you and for not eating me, Mr. Arabian Wolf, sir. Ashraf said, it'll be fun to climb together. So Ashraf the Arabian Wolf, the gazelle, and the ibex began to climb higher and higher together. And it was getting colder and colder as they got high up toward the mountaintop. Then they found a spot where they can rest from all the climbing. The gazelle wasn't used to the cold and wanted to stay where they were resting at. And so did the ibex. They were both tired and didn't want to go up any higher. But Ashraf the Arabian Wolf wanted to finish climbing the mountain. Hey guys, are you two not able to go up anymore? Ashraf asked. The gazelle said, yeah, I think we're both gonna stay here and rest. Do you want to stay with us and rest too? Ashraf still really wanted to go up to the top, so he said, well, I still want to get to the top. It's really close and I think I can do it. The gazelle and the ibex tried to convince Ashraf to stay and not go up any further because it was cold. But Ashraf wanted to go up, so he said, well, I think I'm gonna go up real quick to the top and I'll be right back. You two just wait here. I'll let you know how it is up there. The gazelle and ibex looked at each other. They couldn't just leave Ashraf the Arabian Wolf by himself. So they both got up and started following Ashraf to make sure he was okay. As they followed him, they stayed behind a few steps because it began to get colder and the rocks were starting to be covered in ice. But they made it to the last bit of the mountain, and Ashraf the Arabian Wolf began climbing the last bit to the top of the mountain. But as Ashraf was climbing up the rocks, he noticed that the rocks were beginning to be covered in ice, and he began slipping and almost falling down. Ashraf couldn't get the right footing to stay up and keep climbing. He kept on slipping around and couldn't hold on to anything stable. Ashraf the Arabian Wolf said, I can't believe how cold and slippery it is up here. But I'm so close to the top. I can see it. But I just can't get past these slippery rocks. Ashraf kept trying to climb up, but wasn't even moving. His feet were moving, but they kept slipping on the ice, so his body stayed in the same place while his feet were trying to walk. Ashraf the Arabian Wolf thought to himself, I can't seem to climb this last part. It's so hard to get a grip on this ice. But the gazelle and the ibex are looking at me. I can't make a fool out of myself. I have to make it happen. I have to make it to the top so I won't look bad in front of them. The ibex said to Ashraf, Hey, are you sure you don't want to maybe wait for another day? Maybe it'll be warmer tomorrow. Maybe the ice will melt and it'll be easier? Ashraf said, No, I think I can make it. Don't worry, I'll make it to the top. Ashraf was saying this as he kept staying in one place while his legs were moving. The gazelle said, Look, Ashraf, we can see that you're literally going nowhere right now. Please don't tire yourself out by trying to climb up ice. It's impossible. Plus, it's not safe. Come on, let's go back down a few feet where it's not as cold and let's try tomorrow. Ashraf the Arabian Wolf stopped and stood there, but was sliding on the ice and he slid gently back to where the gazelle and ibex were. As Ashraf slid back and stopped next to them, he said, You know what? I should have listened to you both earlier. There is no way we're going to climb this mountain to the top today. There's way too much ice and it's freezing up here. I think you're right, gazelle. Maybe we should go down a few feet and try again tomorrow. Ashraf really wanted to get to the top of the mountain, but he knew it was not going to work with all the ice. So instead of being stubborn about it, he listened to the gazelle and ibex and said, To tell you the truth, I didn't want to look bad in front of you two, so I kept on trying to go up. I must have looked like a fool. The ibex said, Don't worry, Ashraf. You don't look like a fool. You know why? Ashraf the Arabian Wolf asked, Why? Then the ibex said, Because you listened to others when they were trying to help you. It took you a little bit, and you were starting to look silly walking in one place while slipping on the ice. But in the end, you listened. and I bet it was hard because you must have wanted to prove to us that you could make it to the top. But truthfully for us, we were just having a fun adventure with each other and wanted to make sure you're okay so we could finish the mountain together." Ashraf the Arabian Wolf said, "Yeah, you're right. I was trying to prove to you both I could do it. But in the end, I figured, hey, you two were already hanging out with me, and we were having a fun adventure up the mountain. We were hanging out like friends already. There's no need to prove anything to you both." And as the sun set, Ashraf the Arabian Wolf, the gazelle, and the ibex watched the stars come out and fell asleep on the mountain. The next morning, the animals decided to help each other climb to the top of the mountain. The air was warmer than the night before, and the rocks weren't covered with ice anymore. So the three continued to climb up. They took turns, helping each other up the steep slopes, and they cheered each other on when they were tired. As they climbed higher, the air became thinner and the wind became stronger. The animals were starting to get tired, but they knew they had to keep going. Finally, after all that hard work, they reached the top of the mountain. They were all exhausted, but they were also filled with so much joy. They accomplished something great, and they did it together. Ashraf looked at the view from the summit. He could see for miles in every direction, and he knew that he would never forget this day. And he was grateful for the friends who helped him reach the top. "Thank you for helping me," Ashraf said to his friends. "I couldn't have done it without you two." "We're glad we could help," said the gazelle. "Yeah," said the ibex. "We're a team." And the animals raised their paw and hooves in a toast, and then they all sat down to rest and enjoy the view. Ashraf the Arabian Wolf had so much fun during this whole adventure. He made new friends, and he accomplished something great. And he thought to himself that he was now a real mountain climber. And the Arabian Wolf lived happily ever after. The end. The Arabian wolf is a subspecies of the gray wolf that's native to the Arabian Peninsula and live in the arid deserts and mountains. The Arabian wolf is one of the smallest subspecies of wolf, and it stands on average of 25 to 26 inches at shoulder height, and an adult can weigh at an average of 45 pounds. Arabian wolves don't usually live in large packs, but they will hunt in pairs or in groups. Arabian wolves are omnivorous. They eat all sorts of small to medium-sized animals, including insects, reptiles, birds and rodents, ibex, and gazelles, and in some areas are largely dependent on human garbage. They have a brownish-gray coat with a black mantle running down their backs. Their ears are larger in relation to their body size, and they have a smaller skull size. Some of them have yellow eyes, and others have brown eyes. They are unique among the gray wolves due to their middle two toes of their paws being fused together, a trait that was thought to be unique to the African wild dog. Arabian wolves are an endangered species, with about 1,000 to 3,000 left in the world. Have you seen a real Arabian wolf before? If you have, where did you see it? Thanks for listening to Animal Stories for Kids. If you like our stories, please give us a 5-star rating, subscribe to our podcast, and share it with your friends and family. Until next time, bye! If your child loves imaginative stories, I'd love to share my picture book, What Else Should I Eat? It's about a girl who's hungry and goes on a whimsical journey through a magical land of food, trying different kinds of food and exploring how they look, taste, feel, and smell. It's a fun way to show kids that eating different kinds of food can be exciting. The book is perfect for ages 3 to 6, and older kids enjoy it too. You can find What Else Should I Eat on Amazon and other online bookstores. Find all the details in the show notes.